Hello, and thank you for watching this March 14th weather update, brought to you by Agrible, the makers of Morning Farm Report. My name is Eric Snodgrass, and I'm a senior atmospheric scientist and co-founder of Agrible. Well, this is the forecast for rain we provided last week. Let's see how well our forecast models performed. Our models performed extremely well out west, but not so well in parts of the Midwest. Last Monday, forecast models suggested between 1 to 2.5 inches of rain across parts of Illinois and Indiana. As the cutoff low formed over Mexico migrated east, the flow of moisture in the surface front pushed east as well. As a result, the midweek rain missed parts of Illinois and Indiana. Now, the rain on Saturday night and Sunday made up for some of this, but it was certainly a surprise to see the shift in the rain by the time that last Tuesday rolled around. However, despite this miss, the big story was in the southern Mississippi River Valley, where rainfall totals topped 20 inches in some locations in Louisiana. Many tributaries that flow into the Mississippi River were either near record level or set new all-time records. This graph is from the USGS and shows one of the rivers north of Lake Pontchartrain as it matched its all-time record for depth at flood stage. For reference, this is near Tulane University. Here is nearby Highway 190 covered in floodwater. Some roads survived the flooding, while others did not. These pictures from last week's flooding event remind you why it is best to turn around when you see water crossing the road. You never know if the foundation of the road has been washed away. Meanwhile, in California, the excessive rain was enough to cause this landslide. Also, if there are any wine drinkers that prefer California wines, I saw numerous pictures showing flooded vineyards. Now, the main story for weather to start off this week will be the return of thunderstorm activity as far north as the Midwest. On Sunday night, thunderstorms passed over the already saturated grounds of Arkansas, while producing quite a bit of lightning. Well over 1,300 strikes had been counted in this animation. We are watching these storms closely as they progress east on the unseasonably warm air that has been streaming out of the south for the last 10 days. On Monday, the Storm Prediction Center is watching this region for the development of severe storms as the weak upper-level trough in the jet stream moves east. Surface temperatures in this area might crack 80 degrees, and the mountains will help force the air to rise, giving birth to these storms. Farther north into Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia, storms are possible as well, as the remnants of Sunday night storms pass through this area and potentially trigger a new round of storms to form here. Then, another surge of very warm air pushes into the Midwest on Tuesday, sending temperatures into the low 70s as far north as central Illinois. This is more than 20 degrees above the climatological average for this region. Well, this air will have quite a bit of moisture in it too as it races northward, due to lower air pressure that is going to be forming near the Minnesota and Wisconsin border. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a slight risk for severe storms across a large section of Illinois and Indiana for Tuesday. Let's put together the ingredients to see why these storms have the potential for forming. First, by mid-afternoon on Tuesday, the atmosphere is forecast to destabilize, which allows thunderstorm updrafts to ascend freely. This map shows forecast values of CAPE, which is a measure of potential energy in the atmosphere. Across Illinois late in the afternoon on Tuesday, the CAPE values surge past 2,000 joules per kilogram, which is more than enough for strong storms to form. Moisture is also a critical ingredient. This map shows how a tongue of high dew point temperature air will bring very juicy conditions into Illinois as well. Now, when I storm chase, I often look for dew point temperatures that exceed 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and it is clear that we will meet and exceed that criteria across a large area of Illinois and parts of Indiana on Tuesday. Next, let's look in on the timing of the front. Here we see surface winds, and I want you to focus on this line that I'm drawing right here, where there's a shift in the wind pattern. Winds behind this line that I'm drawing with the cursor are from the west, while ahead of it, they're from the south. That indicates the position of a cold front, which will serve as the trigger mechanism for these storms. So far, we have identified 3 ingredients that will be in place to produce some thunderstorms. To find the last ingredient, we have to look at this diagram, which shows a vertical cross-section of the atmosphere. What is graphed here is temperature, dew point temperature, and winds near Champaign, Illinois. It is the winds that I want you to focus on this graph. If there is adequate change in the wind speed and direction, the storms will have the potential to become severe. On Tuesday, winds will start out from the south near the surface and increase both in speed and veer to the west with height. These are the ingredients that atmospheric scientists try to identify to see if there's the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms. And it's for all these reasons we've just pointed out that the SPC has been able to issue its slight risk for severe weather on Tuesday. As you just saw, several things must come together to make strong storms. But as of the model runs on late Sunday night, it looks as though there's a high probability of storms forming in the Midwest and Ohio River Valley on Tuesday. Now, we'll have to keep an eye on this area to see if this next system holds everything together so it's able to produce these storms. But it's what happens after this potential thunderstorm event that might serve as a bit of a shocker after all the warmth we've had for the last several days. For the last week or so, forecast models have been showing a breakdown in the ridge and the jet stream over the eastern half of the country starting later this week. Here we are watching the forecast for temperature anomalies through the end of March. Starting next weekend, cooler air moves in for several days before returning temperatures to more seasonable values for this time of year. Well, as we prepare to get into the fields for the start of the growing season, we at Agrible bring the latest and best weather forecast information through our morning farm report so that you can efficiently plan your operations. We thank you for your attention and hope you look forward to our next weather video update. Thank you.